guys, I've been a busy bee over on Financial Education 3 trying to keep you guys up to date on the stock market crash, the NASDAQ drama, the tech stock drama, valuations coming down, trying to keep you guys up to date on all that. By the way, if you haven't subscribed over there and put on notifications, go ahead and do so, okay? But I've been so busy over there that I haven't had a chance to tell you guys about my next 10x stock, okay? I believe this stock has the potential, keyword is potential, to be my next 10x stock in the stock market, and they just reported earnings. Not just that I've been busy to tell you guys about the stock, but I wanted to really see their earnings. I just bought this stock recently, and I'm like, I want to see their earnings before I go ahead and tell you guys about it. I want to make sure like this is like a good stock and things like that, and they just reported earnings last night, and the earnings were unbelievable, okay? Straight up unbelievable. So in this video here today, I'm going to tell you about my next 10x stock. I'm going to tell you what stock this is, but most importantly, I'm going to tell you why, the bold thesis I have around this stock. Why am I putting money in this stock? Why do I believe this could be my next 10x stock, okay? And warning, I'm going to put out a warning before I even get into this stock, okay? This company has a lot to prove. They are a very young company. They are growing rapidly, but they're very young. This is not some super established company or something like that. They have a ton to prove over the coming years. This is not like a Google stock or, Apple or Amazon or the FB or stocks like that, okay, that are super proven and things like that. This company is very young. And this is a type of stock I can put a low six-figure amount in, but not seven figures, okay? So I just want to be very clear about that before we get into this. As always, with all my stocks, I think about the risk reward, and this stock has absolutely huge reward potential, but it also comes along with its risk. And I hope, okay, I hope to regret not putting seven figures in the stock someday. That is always my goal with the stock. I should always be able to look back and say, why didn't I put more? Why didn't I put more? Okay, that's the goal, because that means the stock went up. And with all my stocks that go up a ton over time, I always think to myself, like, why didn't I put more in that stock? That's the goal, okay? That means the stock went really well if you feel like that. So let's get into this, guys. I hope you enjoy. As always, don't forget to make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Lets me know you enjoy a video like this where I'm sharing my next big potential stock out there. If you want to try to apply for my private stock group to learn all my different strategies, everything I look for in a stock, if you want to join the private Discord chat, which, by the way, this stock came from my private Discord chat, okay? I had several members mention this stock to me, and I really looked into it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys found something here, okay? Several of them brought this stock to me, and once again, man, they come through big time, all right? So first off, this is a Jack Jackson stock. If you don't know what Jack Jackson is, look in the comments maybe or something. I think you should know what the Jack Jackson is. And I own, quite a few shares of stock so far. So in my main private account, I own 333,333 shares in that particular account, okay? I just love all those threes there, all right? And so far we're doing really good on the stock, but I think we're going to do a whole lot better long term. And then in another account that I only own Jack Jackson stocks in, I bought 55,000 shares so far in that account, okay? And when I say Jack Jackson stocks, I only actually own two Jack Jackson stocks as of right now. The Planet in this one. So I bought 55,000 shares in that account there at a cost basis of 63 cents, okay? And that was here today, and I'm definitely interested in buying more of these shares. And let me be very clear. I have 0% interest in selling this stock for years, okay? Regardless of the price. I don't care if it goes up 20% or 100% or 50% or down 50%. I don't care, okay? This is one of those stocks that I'm buying, I'm putting in the filing cabinet, and I'm like, let's see where it's at 3 years from now, 5 years from now. It's too young of a company, and there's way too much opportunity from this company for me to say, let me go ahead and take my profit now that I made 50% on it or something like that. It's not that type of stock. I have 0% interest in selling the stock, okay? This stock is called GTech Holdings, ticker symbol GGTTF. It's around $100 million market cap, and it's a small company, but they have a crazy, massive opportunity in front of this company. Let me get into this, okay? First off, they're not to be confused with the other GTech, which is this company called Greenland Technologies Holding. It's not that company, okay? So I just want to make that very clear, okay? This is GTech Jack Jackson, all right? This is their actual website, gtech.co, okay? Now, if you're interested in the stock, make sure you follow this gentleman, Norton, on Twitter, okay? Because this is a smaller company. Actually, he releases a lot of the information, the key information, on his Twitter page. He's a CEO of the company and really the man that's behind this company, okay? Look at the revenue growth. This is the numbers that just came out last night, okay? Revenue growth of 267% year over year, okay? They did almost $9 million in revenue this past year. Keep in mind, this is a super small company, obviously. The growth rate is ridiculous. They increased production by 269%. Substantial reduction in operating expenses by 40%. And obviously, this company has changed their profit profile in a massive way. So when I look at a company that is changing their profit profile in a massive way, they have crazy revenue growth and all these things are lining up. This is why I got in this stock. And there's other reasons as well we'll get into in this video, but like that, when the financials are all lining up, this is what I love. It's like when I saw Tesla, you know, a few years ago, I saw revenue growth coming massive because of the Model 3, and then I saw the profitability profile and the cash burn turned to cash turn, and I was just like, oh, this is perfect. And it's very similar to what I'm seeing in this company, just this is very, very early days company, okay? During fiscal 2020, the company's core focus was to establish relevant market share with the premium category through its Black Market and Tenzo brands, while concurrently reducing corporate overheads. As a result, management believes it is well positioned to continue driving revenue growth and cost efficiencies going forward. Gross revenues, they did $8.8 million compared to $2.4 million in the previous year. That is up 267% year over year. Gross margin dollars of $4 million compared to $1 million in the previous year. Unbelievable. Recreation, this is key, okay? Recreational Jack Jackson sales accounted for 79% of total sales compared to 4% previously. That's an unbelievable number there, okay? Cash cost of production was $1.96 per gram compared to $2.62% in the past. That's a decrease of 25%. That's a very, very important. And obviously the profit profile, the loss profile has changed massively for this company. The 2020 fiscal year was a transformational year during which we became a relevant and meaningful player within the premium Jack Jackson category, said Norton, the founder and CEO of G-Tech. Within a relatively short time frame, we have built and established brands that resonate with our target consumers while concurrently delivering significant reductions in corporate overhead and divesting of non-performing assets. We remain committed to executing our strategy of becoming a leading premium Jack Jackson company in North America while operating in a fiscally disciplined manner. This is huge stuff, guys. I absolutely love this. I really like the CEO. Listen, okay, if I'm going to risk money in a super small company like this, okay, I have to have ultra belief in the CEO because I'm risking my money out there with a very small cap company, okay? And if I'm gonna do that, I better believe that that CEO has their head on straight and they are focused and they are determined to make this company a huge success. And I absolutely believe that with this gentleman, Norton, okay? And that is huge. I've watched several interviews with him now. I think he's a straight shooter. I think he's gonna, perform very well over time. Key highlights of fiscal 2020, launch recreational brand Black Market in the province of BC at the end of fiscal 2019 with significant follow-on demand in fiscal 2020 and commenced sales in the province of Ontario at the end of Q3 2020. Significantly increased its product listings from 2 listings in 1 province to over 70 listings across 5 provinces. So they're expanding very successfully in Canada. Established Black Market as a top-selling premium Jack Jackson brand in Canadian provinces where sold. Completed the construction of 3PL Ventures cultivation facility, which is purpose-built indoor cultivation facility with approximately 60,000 square feet. This is big here, okay? This next one. Grey Bruce Farms and Tumbleweed Farms Corp. received the necessary, these are brands owned by, the company essentially, received the necessary approvals from Health Canada for sales-related license amendments. As a result, all 3 of the company's licensed cultivation facilities are now authorized to sell recreational packaged Jack Jackson in provinces and territories. That is key there, okay? That is key for the long-term growth of this company. Absolutely massive, okay? They also sold a commercial property which was not being utilized by operations for a total gross proceeds of $1 million. Lastly, in terms of their key highlights of fiscal 2020, they repaid their MMCAP senior secured conventional debentures of $5 million, also key, okay? They launched some amazing products in fiscal 2020. If you want to read more about them there, the March 1st, basically news that came out around the Grey Bruce Farms, that is huge for this company. They divested their last remaining retail asset for gross proceeds of $500,000. They repaid some very high interest debt they had out there. I love that, okay? Once again, if you're at all interested in this company, you want to think about investing or something like that, make sure you follow the CEO on his Twitter page, okay? So basically, they have a new product coming out, the first Liga on February 4th. They announced that, okay? That has massive potential there. This is huge, okay? So basically this gentleman is talking about how, a lot of these individuals might not be, in the best positions or have their minds on straight. And Norton says, hey, when you have $4 million of your own money on the line and another $2 million from your parents and brother, you don't mess around. You spend wisely, buy wisely, move wisely. And trust is so key in any business transaction, investment transaction, but especially in small cap investments. You have to have ultra trust in the CEO. And the fact is, this guy has a lot more on the line than I have on the line when it comes to stock. And I love that, okay? I love a CEO who's willing to put their money where their mouth is. And Norton has actually been buying the stock in the past year in several different times from what I have seen. I love that, okay? I love a CEO that's willing to put their money where their mouth is. I remember when Elon was buying more Tesla stock, back when Tesla stock was, down and out, and he was trying to stick every dollar, and there were rumors about, he was so cash poor and he might have to sell houses and things like that just to buy more Tesla stock. I love that. I love founders of companies that are not just about the vision of the company and growing and things like that, but are willing to put their money where their mouth is and invest heavily in that company to make sure they're a success long term. Now, this company is really focused on the high end of the product, which I think is key, okay? The last thing I want to be is in some company that just is like a generic player and they're just trying to mass distribute. There's plenty of those players in this space, okay, that are just trying to produce as much of Jack Jackson as possible, and who cares about the quality? Just produce. That is not this company at all. They are focused on the ultra premium product, purpose-built indoor facilities. I love that, okay? I think this is key for the long-term success of this company. You want to have a brand, in my opinion, that is viewed as an ultra-premium brand. I love when you play at the high end, just like I love, Planet stores, Planet 13, which is obviously a very successful investment of mine in this space. Their stores are not like the average stores. They're palaces, okay? They're unbelievable. They're like nothing else you can compare them to out there, just flat out. And I love players that are differentiating themselves on the high end, and this company is, as far as their product goes. And if you're somebody that enjoys this product, I think you're going to appreciate their brand in a major way, okay? Premium focus, superior cultivation, sought after brand, strong leadership, proven results. I love playing at the high end. You guys know, no pun intended, okay? I love that. Look at this here, okay? The majority of our harvests are testing above 20% THC, with several in the 26 to 29% range. Some of the highest content in the sector, okay? So, this is obviously, if you're somebody that, is not into these type of products at all, you might not know what that means or things like that. And I'm not going to go into, a 10-minute explanation of that, but that's big, okay? And especially if you're a consumer of these products on the regular. They have the Black Market brand, high THC strains for experienced consumers. They have the Tenzo brand, which is balanced Jack Jackson with diverse, rich strains. And then they have Green Tech, which is medical Jack Jackson to help assist with pain relief. So they're trying to play in several different markets, and those brands are just growing, and they're growing quite strongly. Packaging they do, premium glass jars, protects product quality, consumer preferred sizes, maintains moisture levels, extends product shelf life, all those sorts of things, child resistant. I love that, okay? I love, this is so big. If you're gonna build really successful brands for the long term, especially in the high-end space, the product, the feel of the product, the packaging, the branding, all those things have to be on point. And this company is so dang focused on this. And I mean, look where they're at today. Imagine where this company, as long as they keep the pedal to the metal, imagine where they're going to be in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when it comes to this company, as far as packaging, branding, product, all those sorts of things. Like the thing you got to understand about, CEOs that have their heads on straight and are really focused on growing their companies over the long term and make sure their brands are right, is they don't let up. They just get better and better and better. And that's something very important, okay? The 3PL joint venture. So first cultivation is expected in July 2021, so coming up in a few months. That facility size is supposed to be 60,000 square feet. This is great news for the company overall. How do I see this playing out over the next several years? Now you know the company's obviously a massive growth company. Their profit profile is changing in a major way. They're going to have very healthy growth margins long term. You know they're playing on the high end. So how do I see this stock going over the next several years, okay? Well, I think they're going to have massive growth through 2025. I think they're going to grow each and every year and substantially. I wouldn't be surprised if this company puts up another triple-digit growth year overall in 2021. Whether that happens or not, we have to, we'll see, but I would not be surprised at all if this company doesn't grow triple digits again in 2021 and then massively still in the years going in the future, okay? Canada is obviously their main focus right now. United States could be a market longer term, especially if we get federal legalization within the next few years. I mean, Canada is such a big market opportunity for this company alone. They could grow, huge in just that market. But United States, oh, you're talking about a whole different animal there long term, okay? So you have that kind of call option out there. Obviously, the European markets, different European markets this company could get in longer term. As long as they can successfully build their brand in different markets, like there's literally unlimited TAM pretty much for this company, especially when you're growing from such a small base overall, okay? In my opinion, 2025, based upon the numbers they're putting up now, based upon the kind of my projections and things like that, I think worst case scenario is companies doing $50 million of revenue in 2025. I think best case scenario, they're doing $150 million of revenue in 2025, okay? So if we want to do midpoint's about $100 million I could see them doing in 2025. That's massive growth ahead, okay? What I also see happening is because they're going to have such strong growth and they're in a sector that everybody wants to play in, right? And they're focused on the high end, so they have a differentiated product versus other, companies out there. I think their stock price is going to do very well over the coming years. And with a stock price that, let's say, keeps going up over the coming years, guess what they're going to be able to do? They're going to be able to raise capital for more and more expansion, whether that means more and more expansion into new products or countries, territories, anything like that, more facilities, more employees, sales teams, anything like that. They're going to be able to raise capital, in my opinion, because their stock price is likely going to go up, and they're going to be able to raise capital pretty cheaply and get financing that a lot of other companies in this space just can't get, okay? I think they're going to end up turning into a very cash-rich company, which some people look at right now and they're like, oh, this is a cash-poor company. Well, if their stock price keeps going up and they're able to raise $5 million, $10 million, $20 million, this is going to turn to a cash-rich company. We saw this play out with the Planet stock. The Planet stock, when I first got in that, it was obviously a very cash-poor company. But then they started putting up these amazing numbers when everybody thought the business was dead, and they just put up amazing numbers and everybody started believing in the management team. The numbers were insane. Stock price started flying high, and the next thing you know, they were able to raise tons of money, and now they're sitting on 9 figures. 9 figures of cash on the Planet's balance sheet, okay? Does this company ever have 9 figures of cash? Maybe someday. I don't think that's anytime soon. But can I see this company having multi-7 figures, if not 8 figures of cash in the next few years? Absolutely, okay? Absolutely. I think they'll become a cash-rich company. I think they'll get to a place where they're pretty much debt-free and basically in a position where there's no reason to really take out debt, especially if they continue to perform at a very strong level and put up some amazing growth numbers. Because the bottom line is people want to be invested in Jack Jackson companies, investors, institutions. It doesn't really matter, okay? Hedge funds. And if you got the major growth, and you could put up another, let's say, triple-digit growth year next year, okay? A lot more people are going to be flocking to this stock. That's all I have to say about that, okay? They have high-end focus, which when you have high-end focus, you're going to get high-end margins. That's something I love about, obviously, Wynn's business model, right? At Wynn Resorts, if somebody's coming to, game, let's just put it that way, right? A lot of their customer base is going to come spend, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 in a weekend at the Wynn and the Encore, okay? And those different properties, Wynn Palace, maybe even millions. And, that's brilliant, okay? That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. You don't want to be, with a customer base that's spending, $50 or $100 or something like that. And so this company, they're focused on the high end. They're going to get high-end margins long-term, which means this company long-term will be ultra profitable. I think this will be one of the, if you're looking at, what comes in for revenue and what reaches the bottom line, of the companies I've been able to look into in this space, which I've been able to look into a lot of them now, I think this company is going to have one of the biggest numbers in terms of, basically what reaches the bottom line from that top line number. I can definitely see it being anywhere from 10% to 30% of top line reaching bottom line for this company long term. So yeah, ultra profitability. Net income in 2025, in my opinion, is going to be worst case scenario, $10 million in my opinion, to best case scenario, $40 million of net income in 2025 for this company. And that's assuming they get to that $150 million revenue number. And so that's kind of my best case and worst case scenario when it comes to net income. That would mean this company would have a market capitalization, in my opinion, of somewhere between $200 million and $1 billion in 2025. I think, worst case scenario is about 200 mil. That, at a $10 million, say net income, that would be at a 20 PE if they were at, 200 mil or so. Now keep in mind, this company should have massive growth ahead, even way past 2025. So I don't think a 20 PE would be very fair for this company. I think they would command much more in that. And yeah, if they're doing something like 30, 40 million and they still got major growth ahead, I could see this company being somewhere priced around $1 billion market cap in 2025. And keep in mind, look at the market capitalization today. This is a company that trades in a $93 million market cap, okay? And, recently it's been trading anywhere from $50 million to $100 million, essentially. If this company is going where I think it's going over the next 5 years, where I think they're going to 200 million to $1 billion. I mean, the growth is massive in terms of the revenues and profitability for this company, the employee base over time, the market cap, the stock price, everything like that, okay? Now, that's the bull case. So what's the bear case, okay? What could go wrong here, okay? Well, if they just couldn't grow. So, they grew 267% this past year. I mean, if all of a sudden they can't grow the business or that growth rate drops to, 5% or something like that next year, that would be pretty ugly, right? I mean, you can't go from 267% growth to 5% or 0% or negative or something like that. That would be really, really bad. I don't see that happening, okay? I think this company is going to have tremendous growth again in 2021 and tremendous growth again in 2022 and moving in future years. But that's always a risk. Like, what if they just stop growing, okay? And I don't know, no one wanted to buy their product and they couldn't get distribution and all those sorts of things. What if management just stops caring about the business and they're just like, whatever. And I don't know, they just start, smoking Tenzos all the time. And they're like, who cares about the business? It's always a possibility, but I don't really see that happening either, okay? Norton, the man in charge there, is obviously very focused on this company. He's got considerable amount of his net worth invested in this company. I don't know exactly what percentage, but I would say it's probably a huge percentage, if not most of his net worth is tied up in this company. And so I would say there's a high probability he wants this company to be ultra successful long term. But it's always a risk. What if the management team just stopped caring about the business or something like that? And what if they couldn't capital raise or something like that? And obviously, if the business started shrinking, the stock price would go down. They wouldn't be able to raise capital likely because people wouldn't want to buy the stock if it's not growing or something like that. So that's the bear case. I don't see it being very realistic. I mean, for the company to just stop growing all of a sudden and management to not care about it and they wouldn't be able to raise capital, I don't see it being very realistic. I would put it at like under a 2% probability, but it always is a possibility out there, and you always have to consider things like that, okay? So the bottom line is with GGTTF, it has its risks, but it has great opportunity in my opinion. It could be my next 10x stock. I think it has great potential to be my next 10x stock. And let me reiterate, I have 0% interest in selling this stock regardless of price. So don't ask me if it goes up, 100% over the next year. It's like, are you selling the stock? Like, no, I don't care, okay? If it goes up, or if it goes down 30% next week, are you selling the stock? No, I don't care, okay? The bottom line is this is a young company with massive potential upside. I have 0% interest in selling this stock at all. How much more could I buy of this stock? That's a good question, okay? Now, I couldn't buy that much more, maybe like 100,000 more shares or so. At the end of the day, this company has risk. I can't make this into some 7-figure position, or even a, you know, in terms of money I put in, or a $500,000 position or something like that. So yeah, I would say maximum amount more I could personally buy is probably 100,000 shares. And I'm kind of good with what I hold, but I wouldn't mind adding some more shares to this. I did that with Planet. Even after Planet went up a bunch, I still ended up buying more shares. And you know, sometimes these companies just have big opportunities and things even get better than you ever expect, and you know, average up. I've done that in Tesla in the past. I mean, heck, if Tesla falls a ton more, I might buy some more shares of that. You know, what if that fell to $200 a share? Man, I may be tempted to buy some, even though I was buying that on a split adjusted basis of like 45 or whatever it was, right? So yeah, we'll see what happens over time, but this company has a bright future in my opinion. Hope you guys enjoy this. As always, don't forget to smash the thumbs up. If you haven't already, that lets me know you guys enjoy a video like this, where I go in depth on the next big stock of mine. If you're looking to try to apply for the private stock group, that will be linked in the description down there. It's where you can learn all my strategies on investing in the stock market. Be part of our private Discord chat. There's over 100 people now in there with at least 7 figures plus in the stock market. So yeah, our Discord chat is something that is just epic on the private side. So anyways, thank you for watching and have a great day.